So hi, welcome to another episode of Insights, here live from BET 2024. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome on for the conversation now somebody I've known for a very long time, always at the cutting edge of thinking around technology. I'm really pleased to welcome Nairn. Ian, could you share a little about your work and how you got to be here today? Maybe not by train, your journey in education today.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mark. And it's great to be on the NetSupport stand, and thank you for the invitation. So for now more than 40 years, what I've been doing is looking at how technology can help teachers in education, but help them solve problems at scale. And as you know, as the founder of C Learning, and now the group CEO of Dell Cloud in Estonia, we concentrate on three areas. One is the use of cloud, but for the last 5 years, the use of AI, and also the use of X or virtual reality. So these are the areas we think are going to have significant impact on teaching and learning as the years go forward.
That's great. I mean, cloud is something which is obviously very close to our heart with our products like Classroom.cloud, and we definitely see the benefit of using the cloud. I mean, where would we have been during the pandemic if it hadn't been for that? But you mentioned AI. There's been an explosion of thinking around AI, certainly with the introduction of ChatGPT just over a year ago. It has become massively into the fore. I was talking with on a previous episode of Insights with Alice Keeler today.
No, she over from the States.
Yeah. She's a very good old friend of mine.
With her luggage now.
She's finally caught up with her luggage. Well, her luggage caught up with her.
Yeah.
And it was great to have a chat to her. She's very much like me in that, and I think like you, in that technology is great, right?
Yeah.
But just because you can do something with technology or use technology, education is too important to leave to chance. So just because you can doesn't necessarily mean that you should, right?
Correct.
And so with that sort of thinking, there's lots of things you could do with AI, and there's obviously concerns around privacy and use of student data and all these different things in there as well. But what are you seeing as being impactful? What are you seeing as being, if you've been working with AI for the last 5 years, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so it's a really good question, because the work that Microsoft and OpenAI, ChatGPT, that basically brought the level of conversation to a very high level. We have been looking at specifically how AI can support the process of teaching and learning, basically giving the teachers the freedom to teach, because we know that teachers are time poor, and we know that teachers are overworked and stressed. And so the activities that the team have been focused on are to try and solve some of these fundamental problems, but in a way that's easy to do it.
Cool. So, and have any sort of products come out of the back of that, or any findings from the research you've been doing into those areas?
I think that safety, security, and privacy have become even more important in those areas. I think there is a whole sort of move around generative AI. I think, like all hype circles, it will settle down, but there's some great work being done, and some great case studies around saving of time. And whether I'm in Estonia listening to 16-year-old students demonstrating how they're able to use some of these products productively to save time, or anywhere else, I think they're good. But one of the concerns that I see is from the younger, the primary school, the prep school teachers. How can we use some of these tools safely and securely to start the journey of students from an earlier age? Because many of the tools require you to be 18 or 16 or whatever else. But when it comes to literacy or numeracy skills, we don't say, oh yes, wait till you're 18 before trying to learn those. And I think the basis for the future is we need students as young as they can to start developing strong questioning skills, Oracy skills, because the more that they can do that from an early age, then I believe the greater their life chances are.
Yeah, you draw out some really important points there. And it was interesting that you mentioned sort of safety, security, and privacy, because those three things are absolutely key and cornerstone to stuff. But just you said, there's a much bigger highlight on safety, security, and privacy. I've been sharing myself an awful lot recently with the sort of the raising of the profile of AI.
Yes.
That has actually made digital citizenship and digital literacy more important than ever.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that there seems to be a tension, doesn't there, between the perceived or actual need of young people to have better digital citizenship and literacy skills, but then they can't do that because of the issues and the importance around safety, security, and privacy. And that tension between those two sort of things there. Do you find that sort of thing yourself too?
There is, and it's a difficult place to go. There are lots of things that can blow up in your face, and therefore the risk profile of going there. But if you started from a point of understanding the educational process, as a lot of my colleagues have, then you understand how to position the platforms, the technologies, the solutions that allow those teachers looking after younger students to start their journey earlier rather than later. And I think that we all know that we live in a world with lots of different socio and economic challenges.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to make sure is that just because of where you're born or where you live or your parents, that you're not excluded from the ability to use some of these amazing resources to better your life. And it comes down to your vocabulary and lots of other factors. But I think the sooner that students are able to start building this skill set, the better it will be for them, the better it will be for society. You have parents who don't understand how to use mobile phones, grandparents who don't use their mobile phones. Think how they're going to be. So, Granddad, I want you to sort of use some generative AI tools. Like, what? If my grandson is able to say, Granddad, this is how you ask the question, then maybe my life is better. But I'm being brought along by this next generation of students.
It's interesting you mentioned that example. One tool I've shared a fair amount is the Pi app from Inflection. My mother, nearly an octogenarian, not quite, but nearly there, for how opposite end of the spectrum she is with her competence with technology to me, the fact that she can use her voice, it goes, you mentioned Oracy, and Oracy obviously, a huge driver for progress and learning. But of all the many tools I've shared with her over the years, it's one she's taken to so quickly. And I think that's because she is great at Oracy.
Yes.
She knows how to frame questions. She used to interview. She's a very well established woman actually in her own field. So that knowledge and she's got within her, she's still very astute and so forth and so on. That's there, but that's my mum.
Yes.
What about our young people who are still developing those skills?
Yes. I think that one of the things that Alicia White from the Prince of Wales First School down in Dorchester said, a teacher's strongest weapon is their voice. And so if we can allow teachers to have more confidence using their voice to control the technologies that exist in their classroom, then that by modeling goes off into the students. They're very happy, aren't they, to ask questions. I mean, probably with their children as well, as they grow up, it's like question, why does the sun shine? Why does the moon not shine during the day, etc., etc. All these wonderful questions. And what we're trying to do is create environments that can ask those even more.
So we talked about Oracy, and it is an important thing, but I know you've been working on developing products which enable people to communicate and work with the technologies that you've been developing.
Yes.
I wonder if you could sort of share a little bit about those sort of things, because there are so many ways in which teaching by teachers, learning from students can be enhanced by technology. Also workload, you mentioned earlier in the conversation about the levels of workload for the freshmen. I know that Ian has been developing something which can really, really help with that. So I think it'd be useful.
Okay.
And I'm very happy for you to sort of mention all of that, because I think our viewers would love to hear about what it is you've got to offer. And I'm really looking forward to finding out even more about getting some hands-on or voice-on with things on Friday morning.
Yeah, no, that's great. So one of the things we've been doing with the amazing Merlin Mind team from the USA is co-developing with the educators how they can use their voice through a product which is now called Merlin Origin. It's an interesting journey because version 1 of the product had big speakers, lots of far-field microphones, HDMI switches, lots of technology that we all thought everybody wanted, and now it's shrunk, and it's just a remote with a software subscription. So today, with Merlin Origin, whether you're using Microsoft PowerPoint or Google Slides, as a teacher, I'm but a student. And I could say, hey Merlin, pull up my slide on the Bet Education Show, go to slide 3 with NetSupport, and play the video from 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, I have not left the student side because I know that you need support on this particular topic. Yet, I've been able to save time from going backwards and forwards. Oh, I didn't mean 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I needed 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So that disengagement, that wasted time is eliminated. And whilst it's not doing everything in the AI space, in the education space, it is certainly saving you as a teacher a lot of time, which you can better spend supporting the students.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I absolutely love. Yeah, for many years, you know, there are sort of two things that I've shared with my sort of NetSupport hat off for a second.
Yes.
For me, you know, implementation is so important to get right. It's a careful, nuanced path. But often the journey to support teachers with their confidence and competence with technology starts small, little wins. So two things that I often share that are linked together, linking into your example there, Ian. I often share the keyboard shortcut B and W.
Yeah.
So when you're running slides, Google Slides or PowerPoint, it's up nice and large, and press B, and make your screen go black, and it brings your the student's attention straight back to you. W does the same thing, but makes the screen go white instead. Works in PowerPoint, Google Slides, Keynote. You know, all your presentation tools have this little hidden keyboard shortcut within there. Something else I've always shared as well is about the presentation clicker.
Yes.
It's one of the best bits of tech, and they don't cost much, sort of £20 if that. You know, the ability to use the laser pointer to point at key things.
Yeah.
It means it frees you from your desk.
It does.
Right. It means you can go around the room. You can help Ian at the back, but still be in control of what's up on the screen at the front. You can look over Katie's back and make sure she's still focused on her work. But you can also blank the screen. You can move from one slide to the next.
Absolutely.
I see Merlin Origin as being that sort of next iteration.
It's like a clicker on steroids.
I was going to say a clicker on speed. There you go. So it's a brilliant, yeah, maybe not that's innocuous reference, but you know, it's a really superb idea and a great iteration from something which is already superbly helpful in every classroom.
And I think the thing that it also then does is we're having a conversation about the moon, yeah? And I'm asking you for questions about the moon, and you ask me a question as a very intelligent student, man. And I may not necessarily know the answer, but now with Merlin Origin, I can literally ask that question. You know, why is the moon 250,000 miles away? I have no idea why it happens to be that far away, but obviously it's something to do with gravity, the size of the moon, the weight, and all those other bits and pieces. And what Merlin Origin can do is use your generative chat tools, but safe and secure, because I don't want something inappropriate popping up on the screen. I also don't want something inaccurate popping up on the screen. And the way that the team work with trusted content providers gives you the confidence that the right answer will always come up on the screen. So I think that combination of an Alexa, a safe, secure Alexa or Google Home for the classroom, together with a safe, secure generative AI, that is the intersection of the work that we've been doing.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Ian is a great sharer on social media as well. Want to share your social details, Ian? Is that okay?
Yeah, so on X or Twitter it's just at Ian Nairn, and please either connect with me on LinkedIn. The final thing I'd like to share is there's some great people at Cambridge University, Emeritus Professor Neil Mercer, who looks after Oracy Cambridge, and I think the work that he's doing together with Professor Rupert Wegraff, he's just written a book about Oracy in the digital age. The book comes out today, tomorrow. I'm waiting for a copy, Rupert, but I think there's some great work being done there. But thank you for the opportunity.
No, you're very, very welcome. Thank you. And Oracy, again, is something I'm hugely passionate about as well. So I decided if you do a bit of a Google on School 21 and their Oracy project, there's some fantastic resources from them as well. Oracy is such an important facet and facilitator of learning. And of course, if you can use your voice in the classroom in the ways we described, then that'll be a great level as well. And what was it Satya Nadella said about?
At one of the recent Microsoft global events, he said, if you're going to ground yourself in thinking about the future, then think of two things. One is everything will be voice enabled. So the interface to your computers, your technologies, think voice, and you won't be far away. And the other thing was his reference to a reasoning engine, how you get insights into data through this reasoning engine, which I think is probably a shortcut for generative AI. But I can wholly agree with him on those 2 points.
Brilliant stuff. Well, listen, thank you. At Ian Nairn on social media. Plenty of insights shared beyond our conversation today as well, but thank you for taking time to join me. And please do check out Merlin Origin, Merlin with a Y, if you are interested in the things that you shared there as well. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Insights by NetSupport, here live from BET 2024. Thank you.